The podcast bros are dropping like flies. For those not aware, Russell Brand has been formally charged for his crimes in the United Kingdom. And I think we all knew that the second this man was shouting from the rafters that he was hanging out at Diddy parties. And that, on top of Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire going bankrupt. That's Jordan Peterson as well, too. Okay? Got them knocked out. We now have Joe Rogan for 2 months in a row being doubled in downloads by the Midas touch. Right-wing media is collapsing before our very eyes because the very billionaires that have been propping this propaganda up are now not willing to fit the bill any longer because they've gotten what they want. They don't need these people to spew their lies any longer because they now control every faction of our daily lives. And mark my words, Tim Pool is next. Tim Pool is next.
I just want to remind everybody that Russell Brand, when he was first accused of raping women, what did he do after he was rightfully attacked by the normal parts of society, right? What did he do? He started becoming more alt-right. And that wasn't slow. It wasn't a slow walk. It was a quick walk. Started wearing the MAGA hat. Started promoting Trumpism. And then all of a sudden became a Christian nationalist. And then while he was professing Jesus, 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 he was hobnobbing with MAGA sociopaths with power. And ultimately, he found a very safe place as a sexual predator, including of one alleged 16-year-old victim. He found a space to be very comfortable within MAGA and those Christian circles. And I just want everybody to remember that.
This waste of blood and organs has finally been charged. The newest born-again Christian. I think it makes this picture really valid. And if you were struggling to believe that one, there's also this one. And this fucking eyesore. American politics. It's just a bunch of essayers and born-again Christians.
Thanks for being here. It's time that you went full mask off as a total Nazi. I really appreciate it. There you go. Yeah. He knows.
If I've said this once, I've said it 1,000 times. The atonement helps perpetrators, not victims. This is in response to an 18-month investigation where 4 women brought forth charges, and he says, yeah, before God, before I lived the light of the Lord, I was a drug addict and a schmex addict and an imbecile, but I never did this. Here's how the atonement works psychologically. The first thing is when you're in chaos, any system of order is going to be helpful for you. And he admits he was in total chaos. And we know from studies it doesn't matter what the beliefs are. It doesn't matter what ism it is or what religion it is. But any system of order will help you when you are in too much chaos. So that is real. It's going to help you. But that doesn't mean that it's true. It just means that it's helpful. The second thing that Jesus and the atonement can do is it can help you process guilt and shame. And at the level of the ritual, it actually does that. We have science that proves that it does that. According to researchers like Jessica Tracy, that when we have guilt and shame, we need to find a way to make cognitive peace with this so that we can amend our own self-image. And so we're looking for ways to make amends. And so having something like fasting and praying in the atonement process can actually act as a moral reset button so that you can have a self-image that you are a good person. And this also works at the level of community. So when there's bad vibes in the community, there's this ritual that you can be all a part of in order to kind of reset the community. Thousands of years before Jesus was even on the scene, we were doing things like putting virgins in volcanoes or sending goats out into the wilderness or human sacrifice as some way to ritualize bad vibes and reset the community. And so you'll see that different societies have different rituals for how to do some kind of penance so that you yourself can feel like a good person and you can be accepted back into society when you broke some kind of societal rule. None of that is magic. We can explain all of that at the level of psychology, and we see different societies and different time periods have different rituals for that. And it does seem to actually help us process guilt and shame and reset our own self-image and reset our relationship to the community. So the atonement is just one of many rituals that you can do in order to do that. But here's the problem. We are not seeing any evidence that the atonement works for victims. So what's happening is you get Christian men, perpetrators, rock stars, and whenever they need to kind of reset their own self-image and their self-image to the world, they will find Jesus and the atonement will help them. And at some level, it probably actually does help because we have reasons psychologically why it would be helpful for that. But we don't have evidence that the atonement heals trauma. It doesn't help women and children in the same way. And so what churches will do is say, just access the atonement for all your problems, and it's helping the perpetrators. We even have science showing why it's helping the perpetrators, and it's not at all helping victims. And so I have women who will come and meet with me and say, the atonement isn't working for me, and I don't understand why. I'm broken because for some reason I'm still angry and I can't forgive this person like I'm being forced to. Why is the atonement not working for me when it seems to be working for men just fine? This is one of the reasons. There's others, people not taking full moral responsibility, what it tells us about God. There's lots of reasons why I don't believe in the atonement. But this is one of the reasons where you can actually point to the atonement causing harm in the world, because it helps perpetrators and it hurts victims, because it gives victims a tool that is actually not going to help them at all. The atonement actually stops this process happening of acknowledging the harm that was caused, which the trauma person needs, and also engaging with how did this trauma happen and how can we set up better boundaries and have conversations where this isn't going to happen again in the future at an institutional level. And the atonement literally stops those conversations from happening. Atonement rituals are moral performance art. It helps the wrongdoer regulate guilt and come back into society. It hurts the victim, which is also why I don't think that Jesus atoned for our sins, because he had very hard things to say about perpetrators. And if he knew that the atonement would be used in a way where perpetrators benefit from it and it hurts women and children and victims, I don't think that he would have been a part of that.
I've paid for sex before. I've slept with, I will not say I've slept with prostitutes because I would not denigrate those women with that term. I prostituted them. I participated in sin. I objectified them. So keen to worship at false altars that I allowed myself and other people to be denigrated. I desecrated his code. The one word that hit me so hard in Corinthians, when Paul says to them, did you not know that your body is a temple? It's the did you not know that gets me. Did you not know that your body is a temple? Did no one tell you that it's sacred, that you are beautiful? You can't have known, otherwise you wouldn't live like that. You can't have known that you are loved, so loved that he would do that for you. He did that for us. Let's not carry on doing the stuff that he got nailed up there for. Did you not know that your body is a temple?